Good morning or afternoon, YouTubers. Old Time Tinkering here again. What I'm talking about today is how we tried to move our wringer washer inside temporarily because of the cold weather here. When it gets frozen, it's really hard to use outside because of motors and the belts and everything. Really don't like the cold weather. So the other day, I put a line out feeding to our drain system for the washing machine to hook up to. It just feeds out, and we have a little pocket here where the washing machine, the regular washing machine, used to be, so we can slide it in and then pull it out. Ignore the hole right here. That's actually the old timer that was on there, the manual timer. I'm trying to see if I can fix the gears in it so I can get that operational. Doesn't look too promising, but I'll give you an update on that later. Still need to sand this down eventually and get it cleaned up and repainted with some epoxy appliance paint. Fortunately, the rust looks bad in some places, but it's actually not eaten through anywhere, so I'll actually be able to fix that. So that's pretty exciting there, especially considering it still has the original factory seal around the edge, which is still pliable and soft. So let me pull her out here real quick so you guys can get a better look. But see, we have the valve there. It's just a simple PVC setup with a valve and a quick disconnect there, so we can unplug it if we need to. It works all right, drains just like it would if it was hooked up to a regular drain system or the floor drain that you just run out of. And so that worked out pretty well. Plus, it's nice that there's an outlet just right here on the wall and a water hookup and everything like that. We never wash with hot water, so just a cold water hose is just fine. Rarely do you need hot water, actually, when you're washing clothes if you're using a decent soap. We use a homemade soap that my wife makes from scratch using the naphtha soap and some other stuff that she grates up and mixes all up. Does a really good job, takes everything out. But a better look at the hose setup here. We have the line going out to our drain system. That's a cap for the water plug. We'll go back over here. You see the PVC valve set up with the copper disconnect, and it ties right into the hose for the drain of the wringer washer. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. The hose, the line there, the PVC line still has quite a bit of flex, so I'm going to have to make a bracket to go underneath that to support it. But other than that, everything seems to be draining, working fine, so we can actually use our washing machine inside, which is nice. Being warmed up though, we're getting a squeak in the drive system, which tells me that something's rubbing. Maybe I got a bushing going out somewhere in there, so later this year when we get a chance, after the holidays when the kids aren't around so much messing so many clothes up, we can probably pull that off and we can take a look at there. I have a pretty good idea which bushing it is in the drive system, and a good indication. The drip pan I have under here, let me just push this back real quick. Actually, you can get a better look at that. I've got to get a different type of flex hose for here too, because I don't like that when it pushes up, it's crinking right there. I'll just have to get a type of flex hose. But you can see in the drip pan, now that it's warmed up inside, we're starting to get some drips off of the drive. I already looked under there and saw where the leak is. It's on the back side on the seal. You can't get those seals anymore, so either A, I'll make a new rubber seal, cut it out, or I'll use some liquid gasket material, but I really don't like using that stuff a lot of time on stuff like this. I want to make it so I can service the equipment if I need it again. Other than that, I have no complaints on this machine. It's been running like a champ. Fortunately, I got my other parts machine if I need something off of. And then I got an additional Speed Queen wringer washer that I'll be doing some more repairs on. It's in about the same condition as this one. No rust all the way through, just some surface pitting and stuff like that. Nothing that can't be sanded, fixed, resealed. This one just has a lot of little things that need to be done. Little scratches and things like that. Then I got to do some research and see about the rollers. You see we got a wear point or a crack here that turned into a wear point in the center of the roller. The rubber's still pliable, fortunately, so it's not dried. You can see the cracking and stuff, but that was probably from it sitting for so many years before we acquired this. But I found some information on this, and if I figure out how to do it, because I have some other rollers I can test it on, I'll see. The other thing I got to address is underneath here, on the selector flapper for what direction the water flows, this guy has become extremely loose. It's not as stiff as it should be. So what I got to do is, we have a spring tension set up right here underneath. That's pretty loose. I'm almost wondering if there shouldn't have been a plastic spacer here, perhaps, to put more tension on it. Sorry about that. But there should have been some more tension on that. So I'm going to make a little assembly there, make a little spacer here to put a little more tension on the flapper so it's not so loose. Found that out the other day when we ran it in here, and we had water all over the floor because the flapper had moved and the wife hadn't noticed it had moved initially, and so she wrung out a couple of clothes where all the wringing water went on the floor. Such is life. That's the nature of old equipment and old materials and stuff. Stuff does fail. Stuff does break. Fortunately, though, your old stuff, it's made to be repaired. So I'll keep posting updates as we keep going along here. We got our dryer right here. Modern dryer, obviously, because they didn't have dryers way back when. That's just for in the wintertime if stuff doesn't quite get dry all the way. But there are some tricks to drying clothes on the line. If you put clothes out when it's really freezing cold, say like 10 degrees outside, you let them freeze solid for the day. You have a sublimation process that takes place with the water. And then you bring them back inside. The heat differential will actually dry the clothes almost to probably like 90% fully dry, so it doesn't take much effort then once you bring them inside to get them dry. You can either pop them in the dryer or hang them up on a line, which the line is something we do in the house. We actually have a line actually hung across in our hallway here and stuff for drying stuff. We also have racks out by the wood stove, but that actually works pretty well. Don't mind the Sun Valley poster there. We live here in Idaho here, not too far from Sun Valley, so I kind of like the novelties of those things. But fun, really vintage poster. But yeah, we have our lines out here in the hall and some hangers we can hang up there. These are all the hangers we use on the outer area. But don't mind the mess in here, because we just got the washer in here in a hurry. So as always, if you have any questions or anything on the page, just go ahead and post a comment or anything like that. Be sure to follow my page if you find it interesting. I'll be doing all kinds of weird tinkering things with old equipment or different things. Like I'm going to be doing some axe sharpening videos here soon. I noticed that online, everyone sharpens their axe using a vise. Traditionally, you didn't use a vise to sharpen your axe. Traditionally, you'd actually use like a tent stake or something like that, and I'm going to show people how you actually do that. So you do a field sharpen on an axe. When I cut firewood, I'm out there out in the woods, and I don't have access to a vise or any of that stuff. Usually I just have my file and a couple of stakes, and that's how we sharpen the axe out in the field. So I'm going to do a video. If that's something you guys would like to see, just comment below. It's a lost art. A lot of people don't sharpen like that anymore. But it's good to know if you're out there. Same thing with like your chainsaws and everything else. How to field sharpen everything is really important. So as always, thanks for watching my channel, and I hope you guys have had a great Thanksgiving holiday break there, and I know everyone's looking forward to Christmas coming up here, so I hope to really get cracking here, and hopefully Santa brings me a nice camera to use for doing these videos, so it makes it a little easier for me to post these videos, because I'd like to do at least 2 videos a week of different things I work on. Our whole property is nothing but old equipment. Like the newest sewing machine my wife has is actually this guy right here. It's still from the 80s. Then we keep going older and older till we get to my wife's new home treadle machine, which, if that's something you guys are interested in, I'll try to get that guy cleaned up and actually show you how to use a treadle sewing machine. We've been gradually trying to move everything back to older equipment and older style of life. Like I said, our house turns 100 years old in next month. So we'll have technically a 100-year-old house, and I like it. The old style of ways is a lot less stress, and you feel really much more in touch with your ancestors and things like that. So we're going to give you more updates on the wringer washer and a bunch more projects. I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm working on, some blacksmithing equipment I got to do some repairs on, and things like that. So once again, this is Old Time Tinkering. Hope I didn't ramble on too long for you guys, and I hope you guys all have had a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you guys. And once again, hit that like button and follow me, because like I said here, either way I'm getting a new camera, so we're going to start trying to make some better videos. These phone camera stuff just don't cut it. So once again, have a good morning or good evening or good afternoon wherever you may be, and Best wishes from Old Time Tinkering. You guys have a great day.